Joining me today on NYSE Floor Talk is David Obrand. He is the CEO at Salesloft. David, fantastic to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's start off by talking about the company. What is Salesloft?
Salesloft is a global software company, and we build what's called a revenue orchestration platform. And what this is it is a fancy term for a workflow platform for your go-to-market teams. So anybody that is engaging with your prospects and your customers leverages our platform to determine what their buyers are doing, how to best engage with their buyers, and how to drive repeatable outcomes.
Now tell me, what are the biggest challenges for enterprise revenue teams?
It's a great question. So today we're seeing a very different set of dynamics than we've seen in the market over the past few years. Rising interest rates, in the low interest rate and COVID environment, many companies overspent on their tech stack. And so right now, enterprise teams are struggling with a couple of things. One is how to build their pipeline. Buyers today are more digitally empowered than they ever have. So sellers have to actually find buyers in market and meet them where they're at. That's a tough thing to do. The other thing enterprise teams need to do is figure out how to engage with those buyers with a great degree of insight and context in every interaction to build those strong, mutually beneficial outcomes. And so this is a tough time. Right now in low interest rate environments in the past, inbound leads came to you, people were overspending because they had huge budgets. None of those things now are true. And so you've got to be able to find where your buyers are, figure out how to engage with them with context, and figure out how to do that in a consistent and repeatable way so you drive the right outcomes, both for your own company and for your customers.
Now, Salesloft acquired Drift earlier this year. Now tell me a little bit about why you made this move and how's the integration going?
It's a great question. So if you're building a revenue orchestration platform, by definition, you are trying to transform how sales is done. Well, sales is a two-way street, right? You have buyers and sellers. So building revenue orchestration platforms, you can't just build for sellers. You have to take buyers into consideration as well. This is why we acquired Drift. Drift was best in class in their category. They have deep insights into buyers, where they are and what they're looking for. And we now natively can funnel that information into the platform to the benefit of sellers, but also now sellers have that rich insight and context. So when they do engage with buyers, they do it in a way that drives value in every interaction for those buyers.
Now, you also announced earlier this year that you're building an integration with IBM's WatsonX, yes, IBM's AI and data platform. What benefits do you expect to see from this?
We are so early in this AI revolution. And it's unclear who's going to win. You have big LLMs out there. You have smaller language models that are purpose-built for specific tasks or subject areas. And it's imperative for any company that is building a platform that has AI in it to be able to build in a plug-and-play model, meaning that you've got to be able to swap out different AI platforms and different AI models depending on the problem that you're trying to solve. And so for us, we have our own native AI, but we've also built a plug-and-play architecture that allows for WatsonX, that allows for OpenAI, and we'll have other AI models that plug and play as well. But there are many large companies around the world that depend on IBM and want to buy IBM technology, and we want to make sure that we serve those. We do not want to have a proprietary model that excludes any customers from being able to leverage our platform in a way that deeply coexists with their existing technology investments.
Now we're about 2 years into the generative AI boom. Tell me how Salesloft is using Gen AI, as well as any other unique AI use cases you may have.
Perfect. So we obviously use our own platform internally, which is steeped with AI and has been for quite some time. But the way AI manifests in our platform, and I think broadly for sellers, is a couple of things. Right now, there are 2,080 hours in a selling year, in a business year. So you take off vacations, time out, and all of that, you got about 2,000 hours. Every study right now shows that 2/3 of that time is spent in administrative work that is not engaging with prospects and customers, which means that only 20-30% of your time is actually spent talking to your prospects and your customers, which is horrible. What Gen AI does, and when you think about it in the context of our platform, it does a couple of things. The first thing is, we talked about Drift earlier, right? Creating all of these buyer signals. AI can help us aggregate and contextualize those signals. So you start to get themes and understanding how the market's perceiving your business, your product, and how they're engaging with you. That's really important. The second aspect of AI in our platform is to be able to prioritize and weight all of those signals coming in to tell you what are the most important things to focus on right now. You then have Gen AI, which reduces a lot of administrative overhead. So as you and I were prepping for today, your team sent me an email that said, hey, here's all the things we want to talk about. That could have been generated through Gen AI. When we're finished with this, Gen AI can have listened to this interview and drafted all the follow-up notes for us, so we don't have to, hassle with that as well. And so you'll see AI in our workflow. You'll see it help prioritize the right actions. In our conversation intelligence that listens to calls and analyzes them for you, AI can help discern the highlighted moments in those where you did really well in the call, where you might have areas for improvement. And then all of that administrative work now can be minimized through the power of AI.
All right, and finally, David, tell me what's next for Salesloft?
So we are continuing to be focused in a couple of key areas. One of which is we support some of the largest enterprise companies in the world, like IBM and others. And to do that, we have to be global. So we have a broad global footprint. We have over 120 people in London already today. We have people in Poland and Guadalajara, South Africa, and others. Continuing that expansion globally is really important for us. We focus on our pace and quality of innovation. Speed is key for us in this market. We have to move fast and we have to move with high quality. The second of which is, this is a new space. It's a new motion, a new muscle for companies. Companies have had CRM for a long time. I've spent many years in CRM at Salesforce.com and others. It's a wonderful platform as a system of record, but these systems of engagement, systems of action, which is what Salesloft is, this is new. So we spend a lot of focus and time and energy and capital on customer success as well. And then the third is building our partner ecosystem. And so what's next for us is expanding globally, continuing the product innovation, the focus on customer success, and building this vibrant ecosystem of partners.
David, it's been wonderful to talk with you.
You as well.
Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk.
Thank you for having me this week.